Everyone has gone to school once in their life and been excited, right? There was a time where you're excited to go to school, whether it was to see your friends, to go on a field trip, for recess, or even for lunch, to talk with your classmates at the table. Have you ever noticed that as a younger student, all these things made you feel so much differently than how you did towards your later years in school? This is what I refer to as student disengagement. Because of this global issue, you might have noticed a decrease in grades or being unable to focus in class, or even not being able to retain information outside of the classroom. But do not feel alone. This issue affects millions of other students around the world. Even I, as a freshman in college, have noticed this. And it's made me wonder, why did I feel this way? Technology. As all of us have gotten older, the use of electronic devices and technology in our lives has drastically increased. Many of us have used iPhones, MacBooks, Samsungs, or even iPads, and as a result of all this electronic intake and device use, we have become accustomed to being on them whenever we are bored. This presents a big problem on how technology can affect our student disengagement. Think to yourself and ask yourself, if I go on my phone after every time I get bored in class, how will this affect me? I'll tell you how. It causes us to use our devices as ways to escape the boredom of sitting through a lecture or important information that'll be useful for future assignments and tests. If we use our devices as ways to distract ourselves, then technology will be a leading factor in the continuation of disengagement in education. So how can we use technology as a way to engage our brains in the classroom? And how can we stop using technology as a negative way in the classroom? It's as simple as getting off the apps in class that will distract you. For example, things like TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat are all apps that, if used in class, will cause you to be distracted. Your iPhone comes with hundreds of apps ranging from genres of entertainment, productivity, lifestyle, social networking, and many, many more. So what if spending less time on entertainment apps, we spend more time on productivity apps? This creates an environment where we are able to use our devices in a positive way. If your teacher allows you to use apps to record lessons that help you summarize them, then you should do it. Using these apps will allow you to get a summary on lessons you were taught in class or lectures, and it'll target key points for you to review for future success. Another way of solving this issue of student disengagement with technology could be by setting yourself a limit to how much you can use your device. And I could say from personal experience, this does work. It might sound corny, but once when I was scrolling through TikTok, an ad popped up for an app that let me set a limit to how much I use TikTok based on how many push-ups I did. Every push-up I did on the app equaled 1 minute of screen time on TikTok. Many times I found myself leaving class to do push-ups on the floor because the app required me to do so on camera. It did have me leaving class to get more screen time, but I did see a difference in my own engagement in class. I was able to pay attention to instructions, and I understood the gist of most things that were going on inside the classroom. Instructors. What is this guy talking about? Nolan, I'm engaged in class, but it's my instructors that make sitting through a lecture so miserable for me. But it's my teachers that are ruining it for me. This brings me to my final issue. What if your professor or instructor absolutely blows? It's a bummer, but we all have that kind of teacher that makes sitting through a class less eventful than watching paint dry. Like the negative use of technology, a teacher who makes their lessons insufferable to sit through also leads to student disengagement. Have you ever noticed how teachers whose classes you can't sit through are teachers who use a boring tone? A huge reason that students may not be engaged in their lessons is actually because of the way the teacher speaks to the student. How teachers talk to the student can be just as important as what they say. The importance of tone that instructor uses is just as important as the need for initiative can be. Using a reasoning tone rather than a controlling tone can give students more interest and feel respected. A controlling tone shuts students down. Not only this, but some may find lessons taught are hard to understand because of the amount of info being covered, or even how a teacher might use technology. An over-explanation or teachers giving too much information for single lectures cause students to be overwhelmed with information and may cause even some to shut down mentally. So how can teachers play a part in solving student disengagement? Teachers can easily fix this issue by changing their tone from a more demeaning one to a more respectful one. For example, a teacher saying, I'm assigning this article because I want you to understand photosynthesis can be useful in trying to invent new climate change technologies, rather than a controlling, you have to read this article by Friday, will allow students to engage. Another way teachers can assist in preventing disengagement is by using technologies like apps in class. Many teachers use many apps and softwares in their classes that involve their students. One example that I engaged in during my time in my first semester at the University of Buffalo was an app Eli Reviews. For the assignments assigned on Eli Reviews, you would read submissions of writing and review each peer's work. The use of an app like this in the classroom allowed me and others to improve our work and personally engaged me into the assignment more than if we just had a draft to submit and find a way to improve ourselves. Conclusion. If there's one thing you pulled away from this video, I hope it was the fact that technology is not a reason for student disengagement. In fact, technology can actually improve a student's performance in school rather than negatively impacting it if they're using the device and tool appropriately. Technology can be used as a tool in the classroom. If a student does not use it in a beneficial way, then of course it can cause students to become disengaged and lead to a decline in grades. However, this could be the case for anything and everything. In the end, it's up to how you use it.